guys? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. I welcome you to come into these tarot readings with an open heart, an open mind, and a desire to better yourself. This is optional advice or guidance meant to motivate you, empower you, inspire you, and offer you confirmations on things that you are already thinking and feeling and sensing. If you don't resonate with the material that comes through, please push those messages aside. They may resonate for you at a later date, and they may not. Have faith it's going out to someone who needs to hear it, even if it is not you. Use your logic, your discretion, your discernment. Separate what is meant for you and what is not. I come at this with love and positivity, so please take that away here today. You are responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's try and have some fun. To get you some insightful messages, check out that box below for the decks I use, how to contact me for a personal, as well as my social media links. Welcome to the tea party. Let's read your tarot cards. What's up, Scorpio? Welcome to your December mid-monthly tarot. We're going to do it differently this time. I have already pre-shuffled off camera. The cards are here on the table, ready to be read, so let's hop right in and do it. So first card out the deck is the Hanged Man. All right, so decision, delay, trying to get a better perspective on a situation and understand where in areas of your life can you transform, and also what can be sacrificed. What are you holding on to that doesn't need to be in your life anymore, or where can you simplify, where can you delegate, something of the sort. This does indicate, as frustrating as this card can be because it does indicate a period of waiting, it is also allowing you to understand that maybe this is a time where you're not being asked to force to come to any conclusion. I'm almost getting like, allow it to just kind of, the way you are a water sign, like allow the information to flow through you and make the decision based on your intuition, on the information you're being presented with, as opposed to like a completely internal decision like the Two of Swords where we're blinded to what's around us. This decision has to do with collecting the facts and evidence and data that is around you in your environment. You know, as crazy as it sounds, you know, the sounds, the sights, all this, you know, using all the five senses, right? And so you have several cards indicating major decisions. So I would say contributing to that, you can look at it as conflicting, right? You have the Two of Wands, which is typically an action card, but it's again the duality, the two, this way or that way, this one or that one. Or sometimes it could be, can we include both? Can we merge them together? So before I get too deep in this, I just want to make a very clarifying statement that I'm going to read this very likely in one category, whether it's business, career, money, relationships, family. You have the right and the authority to take these messages as I present them to you and insert them into the area where they in fact fit for you. So if I'm reading for career and finance and relationships, but you think it's a love scenario, by all means, Scorpio, take the reins. This is your reading, okay? But just so I don't have to say with every card now, it could be this or it could be that. Only take away what resonates. Okay, guys? I just want to make that clear off the gate so I don't have to do it for every card. So Two of Wands, a decision needs to be made, and I do see that as your final advice or guidance. If we really skip ahead, your final advice or guidance is judgment. It's that big old, quite literally, judgment call based on, again, the scenario, the situations, the people involved. So in the past, I see there being conflict. Sometimes I read this card as internal conflict, something you're grappling with internally. I don't think that's the case here for multiple reasons. There's a lot of people here, and it's almost like deciding who's on your team or who you want to work with, who you want to back you in some sort of situation. And again, the Hangman too is indicating to me it does have to do very likely with people in your life. It could be that you're at a crossroads between remaining single versus actually committing to someone in a relationship. It could be that if you're casually dating, you have, you know, two different suitors and you're trying to decide, well, which one do I feel the vibe with? Or, I mean, who's to say? There's never any judgment here, but you might be married to someone and all of a sudden you're like, well, I kind of like that one. I do see this as who do you want on your team. This is the past, so we don't need to over-clarify it. I'm just curious what the overall vibe is in the past here. So this could be a working team, a group of coworkers. Who do you want to work with on a project? Could even be a sports team or a club or a hobby of some kind. But if it is, I would sort of argue, well, why is it such a big decision? But maybe it is. You know, I don't know what you do. Maybe you're a professional athlete, right? And it really matters who's on your team. Is this about fantasy football? Is that what this is about? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Interesting. There is a message here too about spirit guides and children and family. So I don't know what scenario you are in, but I am sort of getting the idea of a family dynamic, which I'll be honest, almost all the readings this time around have been about family issues, which kind of makes sense. We're at the holidays where everybody more or less is kind of forced to at least think about their family, whether that brings up positive vibes or negative vibes. I am seeing something with the mother and the child. It could feel like you have a very close connection to the mother, but in your higher vibration, you want to mend fences with a father figure. It could be something about repairing the family unit. If that's the case, I am seeing it as who's going to break the ice, who's going to be the person to act first and communicate and reach out about this issue where I'm sort of getting it's awkward. It's holding you up in your spiritual path and your spiritual development. Or again, if it's romantic, it's reaching out to that person, either confessing your feelings for them or the opposite, of being like, listen, I'm not as into this as I thought. Something about that. Bottom of your deck is saying something important needs to be communicated, but I think, I feel like I frequently say this to you, there's something about before you rush in and do it impulsively, you're really taking the time to think it through. And Scorpio, I see that as being helpful to you. As much as you would like to be out of this situation and in the clear, transforming into your highest state, which you will, right? Card 12 to 13 to the death card. You will get there. You will be the master of this. You will conquer this obstacle or this mountain. But there's something, I think, in the delay, in the pause, that universe is really trying to give you the gift of time so that you don't feel like you have to make a decision impulsively. This is Gemini energy. It doesn't have to be, but it is essentially saying a lot of pieces to the puzzle. There's a lot of communications or a lot of thoughts or a lot of information in the mix here, and it could be trying to communicate with multiple groups of people. If that's the case, you either have a spirit guide or a divine feminine figure who's really trying to. I almost see this as what is that movie? Rocky and like his little coach guy there, the one who's like training him. In metaphor Scorpio, I think whether you were male or female, it's like you're sort of being this like little kid learning the skill or the technique, and even though you might be a little bit scared or apprehensive to try it, especially if it's something new, maybe you're working in a new job, there's someone behind you who's like, no, I'm here, but you can do it. Like and I really do think this represents more your relationship with the divine. It's like they're there for you, they're there to support you, but I think you're being asked to take that scary step and do it yourself, to put your best foot forward, to take some sort of risk. Because FYI, whatever this risk is or whatever this decision is, I'm not saying you need to rush it, but you do need to essentially make a decision. And I'll even say this, not making a decision is in itself a decision, but I don't think for most of you, that's the way to go. And again, I don't mean to be ultra specific, but when I said that whole thing about not making a decision, it is a decision. This is a rough one. Are you ready? I sort of heard that might be the cowardly way out. So don't shoot the messenger and only take that if it applies to you. But the thing is, if you know what I'm talking about, that will make sense. So if we kind of fast forward a little bit and see what's coming into you, if you are to kind of immerse yourself in this energy, and what I'm getting is like dig deeper to the solution of the problem. Don't look for a quick fix. Don't throw a band-aid on something that really needs to be healed in a more profound, deep way. Scorpio energy, right? Pluto transformation. What's coming into you is wish fulfillment and the Chariot card, a card of victory. So you have a lot of water energy here. We are in fact using Mermaid Tarot, which is kind of fun for a change. You have Piscean energy with the Nine of Cups, as well as Cancerian energy with the Chariot. It certainly doesn't have to be those signs, but it may involve that, particularly in a romantic relationship. I do notice there's two people. I almost see this as, this is so random, but almost like two people working on a busted car. Like if you get a flat at the side of the road, there's something about the teamwork, the group effort may actually get this thing up and running again. There's just, it's almost like there was just like an awkward moment or something that needs to be addressed. And I wouldn't say it's the elephant in the room. I don't think this is going to make or break a relationship. It's almost just like there was like a little speed bump or something. The reason why I am saying that this does seem like it has to do with a relationship, whether it is platonic or romantic, is essentially, if we're to fast forward through this, you have a divine pairing in the wand suit. And not only that, like I'm doing kind of an alternate version of the Celtic cross, but more or less it's similar to that. It's almost like how you see yourself and how the other party in this scenario sees you. You guys kind of see each other as working very well together. Of course, this has nothing to do with gender, but it does have to do with partnership, compatibility. You guys are both in this spread are being displayed as the wand suit, the King and Queen of Wands. So you guys work with the same elements. You have the same goals. You have the same drive. You have the same desires, creativity, spirituality, action, adventure, something about that. And wands frequently do have to do with our work ethic, with the energy we put into something. and also possibly something to do with travel. And I say that kind of because of this card too. That does indicate possibly going on some sort of trip with either a coworker, a business partner, or a romantic couple. I do feel like the solution to this, even how I started saying this way or that way, or can we bring them together? It could be that you are in a relationship where this is what it feels like for the most part, where you are at a crossroads of, are we going to stick it out and go into this next chapter of our lives together? Or is it time that we really kind of sever it off and sort of discover ourselves more independently? And I'm almost getting, should we put it on pause? I don't sense that this is a terribly heavy-hearted decision, so that's why for some of you it's not necessarily romantic. It's almost like you're thinking very practically, like, okay, well, your job is bringing you here, my job is bringing me there, so it doesn't really make sense for us to try and make a long-distance thing work. Not to say you couldn't, but that's why I think universe is saying, think about this, because there's not something where, here, the thing is, the solution is not easy. It's not, oh, that's what we do, or no, we shouldn't do that. There's something about this decision where universe is saying, don't rush it. Make sure you don't make a wrong move and regret it later, because I almost sense the universe is like, I got you, boo. Like, you hang in there, like when and I don't usually get this, okay? I'm going to say that. But in this message, I'm like, the universe is like, you take your time, Scorpio. You just let me know when you've decided and I'll make it happen. That's what I get here. It could be that you're trying to bridge a gap in a relationship where there has been a growing distance, whether that is physical distance or emotional distance, even if you live with this person. I do see you guys as re-establishing a foundation together, or if you are reaching out to someone for the first time to establish some sort of relationship to them. The overall outcome, if you were to choose to go down this road, is Four of Pentacles, which, again, given the other cards I'm being shown, wish fulfillment, the Chariot, a divine couple, I could see this as working. I also think sometimes with this card, it can indicate you've reached sort of a plateau in a relationship. It's not to say it's bad, but how do we get the excitement back in? How do we get this to thrive again? So I think if you can both come together and have a conversation about what needs to change, I think there's a victory there for you in whatever you hold to be like your wishes and dreams, or however you would like or ideally see the situation, what direction you ideally see it going in. Goodness, my words are all mixed up today. And for some of you, again, this has to do with like mother, father, parent, child, something of the sort, just based on kind of these cards that I'm seeing too. So let's get into this a little bit deeper. And so already off the bat, you can probably tell if this is your story or not. Some of you feel like you're getting psychic hits and intuition that someone you care very deeply about needs your help. This isn't a fear-based reading. This isn't something where you need to all of a sudden be worried about that person you love. Intuitively, you're already feeling like almost out of the clear blue, especially if this is like a best friend from ages ago, or even like an aunt or an uncle who you like them, but you're not, BFFs with them. Someone you maybe haven't talked to in a long time or haven't heard from. You're just getting this idea of like smoke signals. It's almost like you feel like they're trying to reach out to you. So I just feel like you're inclined to reach out to them out of the clear blue, but there's almost something like, well, I don't want to reach out to them and be weird. It's almost like you want to shoot someone a text or an email or a call and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, and I don't know if you had a dream about them, but intuitively you got some sort of hit just to check in on someone you love. It might be a Pisces. I'm confused by your Five of Wands in the past. I have to be honest, I don't know exactly what that is because I'm getting too many scenarios. So the thing is, maybe I'm not supposed to know. It's the past. I can't change it. It's already transpired. So there could have been warring or conflict with a team. And so it could have been a internal decision, something you were grappling with internally regarding going after a wish fulfillment in your life, something that you see a lot of potential in, something that you think would make you very happy. But again, it's mustering up the strength or the courage to actually face it. And I'm sort of hearing fearlessly. If you tend to associate more with your femininity, your feminine side, whether you are male or female, maybe your highest vibration knows that you need to be much more assertive and authoritative in order to move forward in this endeavor, whatever it is. I think in your hopes and fears, you don't want to get into something and feel like you rush the decision and all of a sudden you're spinning out of control. It's like you can't keep up with the motion of it's almost like whatever you committed yourself to. So for some of you, if this is romantic partnership, it's like you're on the crux of like, I don't want to break up with them, but I'm not sure if I want to, I'm not sure if I see us dating for another 2 years. I think a lot of you are at kind of that in between decision. I don't see it as being incredibly stressful. It takes time for you to really understand what you're feeling about the situation. I'm being told to tell you that's okay. The answers will come to you, but I think by rushing the decision, or again slapping a band-aid on something because you don't want to go through the healing process, that's what I would sort of steer you away from. I think you don't, there's something you're very excited to get into, but you're having doubts or fear that you'll be able to keep up with the speed of it, the momentum. So maybe that's a career of some kind. The other part of you is worried that if you don't make a decision, you're going to miss the bus. You're going to miss your chance. You're going to miss that opportunity with your person. So let me ease your mind there. Let me tell you. So if their fear is not being able to keep up or getting into something too quick, hey, okay, this quite simply says, when opportunity knocks, don't deny it. Don't resist it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you get into something and it's new territory, I think your best bet is to look at it as a new adventure, a new chapter in your life where it will involve learning and growth and lessons. Don't go in with an ego of I know everything, because you are quickly going to have your ass handed to you. That's what I get there. But it's meant to be fun. You're meant to enjoy this little bobsled race or whatever. See how much fun this could be? So rather than being like, oh my God, I'm so nervous, what's going to happen? It's like, let loose of the grips a little bit and enjoy it. Remember to laugh. Humor will serve you very well in this scenario. Will you be able to keep up? Yeah, if you're motivated enough. But if you come into the job or into the relationship is kind of like, well, I don't really want to be here, but I feel like I had to. Well, then you shouldn't. If you're ready for this opportunity, by all means, make the most of it. There's such a similarity to this in the Chariot card. Maybe you're dealing with an Aquarius or a Cancer, or you're working with one of those two people, right? So your best bet is, will you be able to keep up? Yes, if you don't burn out too quickly on the passion. You need to be very cognizant of your emotional wealth, is what I'm hearing. Your emotional well, maybe, how much love and desire you have for this. You need to be even keeled. You need to be even tempered. And again, know that there will be ups and downs in this career or in this relationship, but I'm getting it's nothing you can't handle, Scorpio. So I hope that puts your mind at ease. So others of you, I'm trying to remember what the other scenario was. Some of you were worried about the speed and the rate of, will I be able to keep up? Yes, but don't spread yourself too thin. Ask for help. Be very humble. Remember, you're coming in more of like a student than a teacher. This feels like new territory for you. And that could be in a relationship too. If you've never been in a long-term relationship, maybe it's like, oh, this is kind of a lot. Maybe you're moving in with someone. Will you be able to handle it? Yes. I think there's still a few, again, emotions you need to work through. But yeah, to me, this is saying this is a relationship that could last. You do see great value in it, but I think don't let fear hold you back. Don't make decisions where fear is taking control of the driver's seat. Like, you need to take back the reins. You need to be the charioteer or the driver, right? So then... okay, others of you, in terms of your goal, if you get involved in this job or this relationship, it's like you want it to be off to the races, and I think there's hope that you're going to see the immediate success for that. And again, I'm being called to say, you will have success, but it's a 4. Again, it's solid, but it's not 9 of Cups yet. FYI, that's coming up. But yes, some of you, I think you may have slightly unrealistic expectations if you're starting this new career, you're starting this new relationship, that it like almost like rags to riches. I don't see that happening, but over time, again, if you are very passionate, and even, yes, passionate because of the King and Queen of Wands, but if you love this person, if you love this job, if you love this opportunity, that's where your success rate lies. And it's like taking what is the term? It's like taking the temperature of where you are at emotionally for this. If you're going into something lackluster, that's probably a sign that maybe you should think about it more. But why am I always wanting to quote this line from Sister Act? If you wake up every morning and all you can ever think about is being a singer, then you're meant to be a singer, girl. I love that line. You guys know Sister Act too? That's what I'm hearing from this. Yeah, again, I'm being told to say, not making a move, delaying the decision because you are too fearful of the outcome, or imagining the worst case scenario, that will lead to your detriment. That will be shooting yourself in the foot. I feel like some of my Scorpios are apprehensive to go in on something that could be a very beautiful opportunity, but I think it's past trauma or the history of things gone wrong that is overshadowing your ability to think clearly about, for most of you, this feels like a relatively new situation situation, or again, it's with a current partner who you're bringing it to the next level. Some of you, especially, I'm not even going to put a gender on it. I was going to say especially my masculines, but it doesn't really matter. If you're in the idea of feeling like it may be time to buy the ring, or again, do something where it's establishing longevity and commitment, that was that 10 of Pentacles. It's almost like you don't want to make a move and then regret it later. But I just sort of think, again, you're allowing your shadow side, the pessimism, to overpower all the really beautiful things about this opportunity. I'm almost getting, by waiting too long and replaying the same scenarios over and over again without the intent of getting to an actual solution or an answer, you're spinning out. So for some of you, this might be saying delaying a decision could actually put you in a greater space of anxiety. Just something to consider. And I'll be honest, Scorpio, it's a little bit different for all of you. Some of you, I keep hearing, I don't know if I can keep up. I don't know if I can keep up with the workload. I don't know if I can keep up with, it could be having a full-time job and a husband or a wife or whatever. And now it's like, oh, am I ready to have children? Can I keep up? Is that going to be too much? Yeah, some of you are adding one to the mix. So there could be possible pregnancy here. You're going to be able to reconnect with someone regarding this opportunity. So obviously, if it's romantic, yes, you guys are ascending to a new level together romantically as a couple. For others of you, you may get this may be working with someone from the past, like a past coworker, or reuniting with a family member to go in on some sort of project or process together. There's something very happily in a higher vibration scenario is that you will be driven to reconnect with someone, and it will bring you a great sense of joy. So for those of you who have an ex that you can't stand and you absolutely hate, this is not your story, okay? This is saying if you take advantage of this opportunity when it knocks, right? When something knocks on your door and you're like, oh, wow, like I say this to you all the time, you immediately jump to, oh my gosh, is this too good to be true? If you start looking at this, I have nothing to lose. It could be great, but even if it isn't, I still got me and I'm awesome, right? Do you know what I mean? If you come into this with a positive attitude, there's something about it. It swiftly puts you in some sort of position to reconnect with someone. And I mean, it doesn't have to be from your past in terms of 20 years ago, but it certainly could. It could be a best friend. It could be some random person you bump into and you're like, oh my God, I know you. It's that type of vibe. And, you know, maybe that ends up being romantic. Maybe this is new romantic partnership. I mean, you definitely have a divine pairing here, whether you choose to view it as romantic or just compatible in terms of what you guys bring together. There's a really beautiful opportunity here that by default offers you a really nice connection or friendship at the same time. Some of you are very worried that you would have to be at a distance from someone you love by taking on this job or opportunity. And to that, I'm sort of being told to like, well, you have to weigh it out. Essentially, something needs to be sacrificed. That's what the Hanged Man says, right? In order to embrace this new chapter of your life, you can take a lot of the good stuff with you and certainly a lot of the lessons you learned from past hardships, right? Struggles and difficulties. We're kind of past that. I mean, you're going from the 5 to the 6. I like that. It's like we've been through some upheaval, some challenges, some obstacles. Hashtag 2020, right? It's like we're almost in the clear here, but I think your pessimism or your fear is getting the best of you. So the thing is, Scorpio, you know this as well as I, there are no guarantees. Is this going to work out beautifully and there will never be any obstacle for the rest of your life? No, you're going to have obstacles throughout your life. It's weighing, is it worth it? Was it worth it for me to jump into this new chapter? And the thing is, I feel like almost that, a little bit of a fish out of water, like, well, I'm not as confident or I'm not as good as them, but I don't know. I feel like you have an awful lot to bring to the table, and what's coming into you, whether this is related or something different, is I'm going to say a wish. It doesn't have to be the long-term career dream, but a wish comes true, very likely in the form of a travel opportunity, in something regarding the house, the home, a new property, possibly moving in or traveling with your sweetheart, or kicking ass in the career field, again, with your coworker or your partner in crime. Tell me a little more about that. You have a very positive, in terms of near future, what's coming into you. I don't have anything bad to say about these. Again, I do see people working together. It was written in the stars. Needless to say, this is divinely guided. This is a beautiful opportunity. Wishing upon a star, what have you been manifesting? It looks like something you've been manifesting for a while, Nine of Cups. It starts to trickle into you. Maybe it doesn't come in all at once, but a drop in the bucket adds up over time. It seems like you got something good coming in that you've already been working towards. For a lot of you, I think this is someone who's getting a little bit of cold feet or apprehension about agreeing to go in on a long-term contract or commitment, whether it's a contract buying a new house. That's a lot, right? You never really know what you're getting until you live there for a period of time. Do you like the neighbors? Is it too noisy? Is there a good school system for your kids? There's a million things you'd be like, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? I think universe is saying, yeah, there's always going to be drawbacks, but you have to decide, are you going to raise your vibe or are you going to lower your vibe? It's up to you. How you view the situation I'm getting will make or break the experience you have. If you go in with this lighthearted energy of, hey, you know what? It could be fun. That is going to be your reward and that you will find the fun. But if you go in like, there's something weird about this, I don't feel comfortable, I was forced into this, there's something that isn't right, then that's what you're going to manifest. Something about the situation won't be right for you. So again, it's saying you do need to honor what's going on inside of you. But I'm going to stick to my message too, though, that something about this, the evidence is around you. It's almost like all signs point to fill in the blank. You just have to muster the strength and the courage to go after it. But you're not that far. Do you see, that's a quick swim to that volcano. Again, the smoke signals, this could be rekindling a flame of the past, that's entirely up to you, Scorpio. I'm not saying you have to, but maybe you guys are each other's wish fulfillment. I'm not going to neglect that. This is a pretty kick-ass message. 16, it's possibly someone you had a tower moment with. Maybe it's the person you're reconnecting with and you're like, what if I come forward and try and mend something of the past? Well, what if it takes off? What if it actually works this time because you both have gone through some sort of spiritual growth or some sort of change? You've spent this period of introspection, aligning to your soul path, and maybe it collides with this person again. I don't know why this is bothering me. Spirit's like, don't worry about it. Forget it. Release it. All right, I will. That's what I take that to mean. I don't know what this is, you guys. This is happening in your past. Do you know what this is? Is there something, arguments with a parent or a child, or what's fueling your fire? Is there someone who's encouraging you to go after something you want to do, even though you were a little bit apprehensive or fearful to do it? The thing is, I don't really associate that with Scorpios. Typically, you guys kind of know what you want, and eventually you're like, okay, I'm going to go get it. So again, we're all different, unique beings. You are a sun sign Scorpio, maybe, although maybe you're not. Maybe you're a moon or a rising, but I don't totally get what this is, but it's the foundation of what you're building upon. It has to do with this. And so maybe it's something you've released, or maybe it's something you're still working through, or maybe it's saying, who's that mentor? Who's that person that inspires you? I can't remember the name of his coach, but I'm literally seeing Rocky Balboa and that little old guy. Was it Meredith Burgess or something? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just watch Rocky. Don't waste my time with these messages. So if this doesn't have to do with a person, but more of an opportunity that you're feeling guided to go towards, I think universe is saying you two would work well together. You and this job, you and this opportunity, you and this romantic suitor, you guys have potential to create something really good. Again, is it going to come in as the Cinderella story? I think it will feel like that initially, but I think very quickly you're going to reach this, I don't want to say highs and lows, because again, that's setting the intention that the lows will be miserable. No, I think this will, with the King and Queen of Wands, it could very well start off hot and heavy, and then you plateau a little bit, and then you have to revive it. You have to rekindle it. You have to get back to, that feeling of magic that it all started to feel when you guys first started this endeavor or this journey together. And for some of you, quite literally, this could be a marriage where it's lost its zest a little bit. And the thing is, I both think in that case, it's almost like the elephant in the room, because there's something that you both kind of want to address, that like, hey, we kind of lost our mojo, our chemistry, but can you get it back? Yeah, absolutely. Somebody just has to take the scary step of addressing the situation first. I could also see this as a very dynamic couple who, lots of passion, lots of sexuality, and then you decided to have kids and you feel like your personal or romantic life kind of dwindled or went out the window. Again, you can get this back, but you have to be reinvigorated and energized to do it. You have to make time for your priorities. So whatever your priority is in this, again, rather than lackluster, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all is lost, it's like, no, this is completely solvable. But you have to take the time to understand what isn't working in it and what can be sacrificed. Can you afford a babysitter 2 nights a week? Be solution oriented. That's a really good way of putting this. So bottom line, the potential outcome of this is that you reestablish stability in whatever this is in your life. Maybe some of you are breaking up from a long-term partner and it's a difficult decision, but ultimately what your body is thriving for is some sort of independence and freedom, and you do find that on your own. So, I mean, you can read this through multiple lenses, but tell me about this judgment. So this is this thing. You have a lot of indecision and how should I proceed? What should I say? How will they react? Again, a lot of you are jumping to the worst. You're thinking about all the things that could go wrong versus all the things that could go right, which again, this is what's coming in. This is quite literally all the things that could go right. These are excellent cards, the Chariot and the Nine of Cups. So tell me about this judgment, because I mean, I guess it will be different, in a general reading for you guys, but hold on. I'm going to read this more intuitively. I'm so quick to clarify when really, usually it's all on the pictures anyway, so. Yeah, some of you feel trapped. You've been in a relationship for a certain amount of time, but it's coming to the realization for some of you that I'm just not as happy. I got myself in deep and now I feel weird trying to get myself out because I don't know if it has to do with ego or shame or not wanting to let your person down, wanting to be a loyal friend, but not the boyfriend or the girlfriend. I totally see that scenario here. Even if that's the case, I think if you do it in a high vibrational way, if you do need to end something and move on because it will bring you mental clarity and you decide you're going to look for happiness elsewhere, I think you could probably do it in a way where you guys can still be friends, if that makes sense to you, particularly with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. See, Wheel of Fortune, good things or a good outcome will come from this scenario, but there is something that you need to think through and then communicate. What is a good word for it? Whatever you're thinking through, you need to communicate it accurately, precisely, is what I would say. Don't mince words, be very direct. It doesn't mean you have to be blunt and hurtful, although, blunt can be good as long as you're doing it, thank you, with compassion. I was going to say, there's a need to be kind, especially if this is someone who you would like to not burn a bridge with. And for some of you, it's the opposite. You may be trying to engage with someone romantically, or the opposite, disengage from someone in terms of love, but not necessarily friendship. I do get a lot of vibes of you guys, whatever you choose to do with it. For most of you, in a sense, there will be a commitment to one another for life, but it may not be romantically. And even if you were husband and wife, you may get a divorce but decide to work together, especially if you have children. But I see this being a situation where not all is lost. I know it's scary to think about your life without them, or it's scary to think about their reaction and whatever. A million things you can be fearful of, but there's a million things you can look forward to. A lot of good things. Yeah, for a lot of you, now that I look at this, I do see it as going from, for some, of course, like an exclusive relationship into a let's just be friends. But I got you. Like, you're always going to have my loyalty. Like, I got your back because you didn't do me dirty. You said you weren't feeling it and you were honest with me. And so, okay, that, you can't change how other people feel about you, Scorp. You know that. I know that, right? For most of you, it feels like you're the one who's sort of having ambivalence, is sort of what I would say. Communicate what you're feeling, quite simply. Knights always bring change and movement into our life. So you have the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Truth, communication, honesty, justice, however you want to phrase it. And the Knight of Cups, the heart space, the feelings, the emotion, the compassion, the intuition. If you utilize both of these in your chart, you will succeed with flying colors. As long as you honor your truth. You are not responsible for how other people respond to your words and your actions. I think you can cushion the blow by doing it in a gentle way, do unto others, but and then again, for others of you, you are communicating, okay, I'm ready to do this with you. Like, let's do it. Let's celebrate our engagement. Let's celebrate our new home together. This is a major decision in a relationship of any kind, even with your coworkers, right? Maybe you guys are leaving a job that you've had a lot of loyalty to and you're going to miss your work buds, right? I could see it as that too. A lot of you do, yeah, that's what I was getting at though. You feel trapped in a bubble. A lot of you are yearning for freedom. To experience life elsewhere. Some of you getting, it's your Sagittarian side, you're getting a little antsy. You want to go out and go on a new adventure. Well, that's what this is. Now, a lot of you have heard the calling, is what I'm hearing. So maybe that's a spiritual message. A lot of you are going to return to something from the past, whether it's a job or an interest, a skill, a hobby that you really enjoyed. Some of you are having a very important conversation about children, having children, whatever, something involving your family and your children, or your parents if you are the child, right? And some of you are realizing, yeah, like this is a soulmate. I see myself wanting to grow old with this person. So while I'm a little bit fearful to be in a long-term commitment, a lot of you, I think, are going to come to the conclusion, yeah, like this feels good. This feels right. I'm not intimidated by my person. I'm a little bit intimidated about the idea of, not being a bachelor or bachelorette anymore. But for most of you, again, even if this is a divorce, it's like you guys will be friends. This was absolutely a karmic connection, but I would even say it's a soulmate connection, even if you choose not to be the romantic partner in this, okay? Scorpio, that's what I got. Bottom of the deck, 7 of Swords. Stop running from the issue. I think you're making it worse in your head than it will be if you actually take action and advocate, speak your truth, speak up for yourself. Yeah, I see you running from something that it's really not time to avoid it much longer. Yeah, you need to step into your power and make a decision. It's a lot of you, there's 10 of Pentacles energy here. That's really good. For some of you, it may have to do with a large investment or a sum of money, like buying a new house or, uprooting yourself across the country. Something about this money may play a factor. And so, take stock of money. Look at your finances. When can you afford it? What should you do? How can you seek some side income? You need to come up with some solutions, but be solution oriented. Tackle it one piece at a time. Sometimes it's like there's so many moving pieces and parts, we don't know where to start. Starting is the hardest part. Just go. Just make one decision. Start with the one decision and the rest will fall into place. Like a domino effect, right? Discover your life purpose. That's your healing oracle card. You did have a lot of cards indicating music and musicians too, so it could be you feel like you're staying in some sort of relationship where you're sacrificing your dreams of being an artist or a musician or a creative of any kind, right? But again, do you see how there's like this mystical element? There's this like woman over the shoulder. I almost feel like your spirit guides, that calling you heard. It's like I feel like some of you may have not given up, but temporarily abandoned a dream you had of the past. And I think the universe is trying to get you to see you don't have to sacrifice all your dreams and wishes. Sometimes it's about incorporating both. It's about being in a relationship and living your best life career-wise. Where can you compensate? What can you cut out and where can you put more endurance and energy into? 2 and 9 make 11, so soulmates. You have a lot of soulmate energy here. This is really cute, Scorpio. Anyway, all right, that's what I got for you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonated for you. Last thing, let me know what you think of this style of me not shuffling everything for you on camera prior to speaking. I personally feel like it wastes a lot of time, so if you guys are cool with it, just jumping into the cards and having in good faith that I shuffled accurately and, I have no reason not to, right? These messages have no effect on me. They're for you guys. But I do want your honest opinion, so I welcome you to give me some constructive criticism on what you think. I'm working on the length. I know these videos are long, so I'm trying to be less chatty, but my goodness, that is my own fault. Anyway, Scorp, thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for Lil Sips Mini Love Tarot. Bye, guys, and happy holidays.